Hi friends, this is Atul Patrikar with Sai Patrikar. So today we learn about refresh the SQL objects. Uh, like sometimes we are facing the views metadata issue. So sometimes metadata is not updating automatically. So for that we need to manually refresh that views metadata by using like SP refresh view or SP refresh SQL modules. So now today I will show you that how to we automate that process by using some store procedure, and we can configure that store procedure using the SQL job. So our SQL jobs triggers every day on the schedule time, so that views automatically that jobs automatically refresh the all views metadata. Okay, so now I'm using my regular database like SQL Bank database. Okay. Now first we'll check how many views in the database. Like select star from sys.objects where type equal to view. Type equal to view means view. Okay. Okay. So totally we have 52 rows, 52 views. And there is some schema binding views also. We will discuss about that schema binding views later. Okay, so there is two ways to fetch the view from database. Like you can use this system.objects, and there is one more, like you can also use this dot views. Okay, okay, you can see that same views are coming like total 52, 52, 104. Okay, so now the first thing will create the store procedure to refresh the all metadata. Okay, now before creating the store procedure, first I will create the sample query. We prepared the sample script. Okay, so now the step one is, step first is we are creating one table variable. Okay, so we can store that all view names and schema names and IDs into that table variable. Okay. Now declare @tbl underscore views as table. Okay, so we need ID column integer, and we are seeding, like we are incrementing the value for that ID based on that view names. If there is total 52 views, now that ID will be generated like 1, 2, 3, 4 in sequence base. Identity 1 comma 1 increment by 1 and seed by 1. Okay, now the next column is view name and where can 500. Okay. And schema name. Okay, because some views are created under the DBO schema, some views created under the different schema. So that's the reason we need to pass the schema name and the view name to that procedure, that inbuilt system procedure. Okay. Now the first step is completed. We have created the table variable. Now the next step is we need to insert the data into this table variable. Okay. So table in view, comma. Okay. So ID column is auto increment column. So we need to pass these two columns only. View name and schema name, and select name, schema name, schema ID from this dot objects. Okay, sys.objects or sys.views. You can use anyone. Okay, so we got name and okay. Okay, we can do one thing. We can directly insert the schema name with view name to this view name. Like we don't require the extra column. We are concatenating the schema name and table name here. Okay, name. So we can insert the view name only here. Okay, you can see schema name dbo dot is the schema name and vw is view name. Okay, so now we check execute. Okay, now there is total 52 rows. So id also generating properly with view names. Okay, so now next step is like we use some we need to use some looping concept, like we use while loop for this. So there is another way, like we can also use that database cursor, but instead of cursor I'm go with the while loop. Okay, okay, so for that we need to declare some variable here. Declare @id integer comma @count integer comma view name object is also required @view name. Okay, and where can I find that? Where can I find? Okay, okay. So now we need the minimum ID column and the total number of count for that views. Okay, so now here we can set that ID column name, like ID equal to minimum ID minus one, because we need to start from the first view, like first, second, third, we can process the view. Then count equal to max ID from this table. Okay, now we got the minimum ID and maximum ID. So based on that, we can add the condition here. While @id is less than @count. Okay, once this condition is satisfied, then we can increment the ID count by +1. Okay, set @id equal to @id plus +1. Now the next step is we need to fetch the view name. Okay, view name with schema name with view name. Okay, @view name equal to view name from this table name. Here @id, where id equal to @id. Okay, now we got, now here we are getting this view schema name and view name. Now here we are calling inbuilt store procedure. Okay, refresh SQL module. You can see store procedure, refresh module, name, namespace, and object. Okay, so we need to pass this view name here. Okay, so if you want to check the process, so you can also write some logging concept, or you can log each and every view refresh, like concat okay, total id again completed out of, then count this. Okay, and you can also pass like this view name. Okay, you can pass this view name here. Okay, so you can also log this like view name total, view name view id completed out of total. Okay, so one more thing, sometime that view metadata is not refreshed, so sometime it's throwing error. Okay, so like invalid column name or something like that, we are getting the error. So for avoid that error, we need to implement that error login concept also in this section. Okay, so now I'm creating a procedure here. Create procedure USP underscore refresh view metadata. Okay, as we don't require any parameters, so that's when we are not adding any parameter here. Okay, as begin end. Okay, now you can see here, here we passing that like we are using begin catch end catch. Okay, you can see sorry, not begin catch, sorry, my bad. Begin try end try. Okay, here, and here you can pass begin catch end catch. Okay, under this you can log some error in the tiny table, or you can also just display the error number and error line error procedure. So we use this system defined error objects or function error message. Okay, okay, so this is good. So now I'm going to execute this script. So you can see procedure USP refresh view metadata created successful. Okay, now you can execute this procedure from here. Okay, so you can see here, you can see view name total one completed out of 52, total two completed out of 52. You can see the total 52 views are executed, but there is one problem you can see here. Okay, the problem is like here you can see the error is warning or error is showing like metadata was not updated for the schema bound object. Okay, so because this view is created with the schema binding, so we have other option to refresh the metadata for this. So I will show you in the different video how to update the schema binding with metadata, and I will also show you that the view how that view is created like using schema binding. Okay, so now I'm going to the SQL database. Yes, now I'm filtering that view name here. View name. Okay. So that schema is not required actually here. Click here, script, here, new query editor window. You can see here we use with schema binding. That's reason the error come like schema was not updated like this. Okay, so we'll show you how to update the metadata for a schema bound object, schema bound views in the different video. Okay, now I'm going to create one job. Before that, we need to start the service here from here. Okay, once the service is started, we'll show you how to create a job and how to trigger this procedure every day by using that job. Okay. Now you can see here job section. Click on that job. Click on new job. Okay, so name is like refresh view meta data. Okay, owner you can select the owner here. That category is not required. This this job is used for updating views meta data. Okay, now go to the second step. Click on new button. Here you can mention like step 1 refresh view. Okay, so we use SQL store procedure. That store procedure is comes under the transact SQL. Okay, so we need to select the database. So our procedure is available in this section. Okay, now go to this. Now copy this procedure name and just type exec and paste your script here. Okay, now go to the advanced section. You can see on success section. You can select any one option from these three. So I'm going to select this quit the job reporting success, or you can also set the retry attempts and retry interval, or you can see here quit the job reporting. If you want to log this job related logging mechanism, or you if you want to insert the logs into database, so you can also select this log to table. You can check that. Okay, now you can see the step also is created. Now this we need to create the schedule time. Okay, trigger job recurring. Okay, we need this weekly, we need to daily, recurs every one day, occurs on we I'm going to set 6 6:30. Okay, started, no ended. Now you can see occurs every day at 6:30. Or if you want to run this in 6 p.m., so you need to mention like this 24 format, 24 hours format. Okay, alerts. Okay, so here you can also set the alerts, the database name, Microsoft, this types of you can set here. Notification, you can also trigger the email when job is failed or completed. Click on OK button. Now click here. Now you can see refresh view. Now I am going to start this job, so you can see the job started is successfully and executed and also completed. Now go to that history or job monitor, and you can see here. So you can see that our refresh view metadata runs successfully on this date, this time. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. We'll meet on next video. Thank you guys.